Today on First Cup, we're talking about today's brand new episode of Martial Arts Radio. It's a How to Fight episode. And we're going to talk about the classic Bruce Lee film, Fist of Fury, which turns 49 today. Stick around. We're rolling in 15. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, September 9th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. What is that? Is that a bug? No, it's coffee ground. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Jenny. People coming in. Well, I hope you had a good Wednesday. I did. So, completely unrelated to martial arts. Let me tell you about something funny. So, when did this happen? A couple months ago, I got this weird email asking for a call to set something up on the consulting side with technology. And I get on the phone, and it's this woman who I can tell is older, and her sister have these sketches that their father made years ago, and they think they want to turn them into a book, but they want to put them on Instagram and build a following, and they think I'm the guy to help make that happen. I was like, actually, I think I am the guy to make that happen. That sounds like a really cool project. Good morning, Dennis. And so I show up at their house, and they've got to be in their 70s. And if you know The Odd Couple, it's like being in a live Odd Couple episode. They are constantly back and forth at each other, but with all the sibling stuff. And one of them's got a little bit of a tremor. And the other is very self-deprecating, doesn't want to know anything about technology. The other one, it was a riot. Now, they let me know, I think it was last week or the week before, we're ready to get the first one up. We've worked through this because they're really, these images mean a lot to them. And so they're really trying to convey in the captions on Instagram what's going on. And these images are incredibly well done. And so I get over there, and we spend about an hour and a half. Because nothing goes smoothly. Their AirDrop's not working from computer to phone, and it's being messy. And they wanted me to show them how to do it. I was more than willing. But the process that we worked out was way too cumbersome for them. So pretty much they're gonna send me the stuff, and I'm gonna post it for them. And if you want to check it out, there's one up right now, and these images are fascinating. The Instagram account is Pecs Bad Girls, PECKSBADGIRLS. I think it's funny. There's an incredible amount of detail. They're pencil drawings. Pen and ink drawings. And apparently there are dozens of these. So I thought it was funny. I told them, because yesterday they kept apologizing for each other and the way they were treating each other. I said, actually, I'm having a great time. I feel like I'm in a Lily Tomlin sketch. So, good morning, Stacy. So that was yesterday. I had a meeting with a client. Went to karate. Actually, probably had the most fun I've had at karate yet. We almost talked about sparring. And they still haven't quite figured. I mean, they were doing break falls and rolls, and the person leading the class looks at me and is like, "You've done these before." I'm like, "Yeah, I have, a little bit." Came home, had a headache. Anybody do back break falls, right? Neck gets all tight. Tuck your neck. Yeah, I know. Tuck your chin. Still a lot of force. Still a lot of whiplash going on there. What else did I do? I did the books. Panera closed their dining room again, so that was a bummer. Free Training Day shirt is almost done. I got an email overnight from the designer. I think, knock on wood, I think we're at the final stage. Because I'm excited for you all to be able to order this shirt. Because it's a really cool design, number one. And number two, we might be doing something for people who choose to buy the shirt. We will see. Coffee's good. Coffee's really good. Okay. What's going on today? So today we've got episode of Martial Arts Radio I'll tell you about. It's this leaning thing. I gotta pull this back. Listen. Need a camera person. See, I kind of want to lean in like this. Daniel says, I learned back break falls properly doing pro wrestling training. We did literally thousands of them. Oh, that's not good on your brain. Like, it's minor whiplash every single time if you're doing them right. And if you've done back break falls or any break falls, you know that most people, they're like, they tap the mat. And I'm coming through and I'm whack. And of course, I'm the lowest ranked person in the room, so everybody's done watching me. And nobody I've had like 2 people come up to me and say, you've trained before. Most people are just kind of staring at me. They're like, hey, who's that guy? Why does he know how to do these things? And let's call a spade a spade. Why does he know how to do these things better than I do? Slap. They were really weak break falls for most of the people. You ever met a pro wrestler? Brain injuries are a thing. I met someone who went to pro wrestling school, and they demoed how they do the slapping thing on someone. That was pretty brutal. Like, this is how we do this. And I was like, so literally what I'm seeing is you're slapping that person as hard as you can to make a really loud noise. No, thank you. I am not interested in that. I was at a gym, and the gym owner knew the guy. It wasn't anybody famous. It was a local person. What else is going on today? Client meeting. I have acupuncture today. I'm excited for that. I'm going to go check out a new CrossFit gym. It's not new to me. So I'll share this. One of the challenges for me over the last really year and a half, and specifically the last 6 months, is that my circle has shrunk tremendously. The people that were in my corner either are no longer in my corner or never were in my corner. And one of the things I've been spending a lot of time thinking about and trying to prioritize is putting myself in situations where I may be able to make some new friends, to find people that will be in my corner. And what are the 2 biggest things that are going to help me meet people? CrossFit, martial arts. So today, I've been working on kind of having a meeting with the owner of this gym for like a month. So we'll see. Stacy says, wondering why, while I'm watching the live on Facebook, it seems insistent on posting a banner that Whistlekick is live. I'm here and signed up for reminders. Maybe that's why. Jenny says, fun fact, my boy's dad owns a pro wrestling association, runs a training school and everything. Local indie wrestling is crazy. I've seen some of that stuff come through in video clips, and it's awesome. Like, it's so fun. And I think I would go to one of those. I think I would enjoy that. I've never been to like a WWE event. I've heard from friends that have gone that they're utterly amazing. That the energy, the pageantry is as over the top as anything you can get. And it's something that I think professional martial arts or martial arts competition needs to figure out, because what's the UFC been doing that's been making them a lot of money? Turning it more into professional wrestling. Now, I'm not saying it has to be fake. I'm not saying it has to be characters, but what's wrong with the entrance music? What's wrong with building up their backstory? There's nothing wrong with these things. Jenny says the indie live shows were way better than WWE. Wow, that's high praise. That is very high praise. Well, there's the everything's okay alarm coming down the street. I don't know if you can hear Ralph. Ralph the dachshund, the long-haired dachshund. He's a very sweet dog. So that's my day. So let's talk about today's episode. First, let me see if it's up. I'm hoping it's up. Gotta trim my beard. It's so long, right? It's up. Okay. Oh, Julius, that graphic looks great. No, stop. I don't want your ad. Okay. You want to see it? You want to see it? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Show me the beginning.
Hey, what's going on?
Ugh, fine. You'll have to go look at that opening graphic yourself. How to fight Jean-Claude Van Damme as Kurt Sloan in Kickboxer. Now, this was absolutely hysterical yesterday because Frank wrote in about the anniversary of Kickboxer, and he didn't know that we were dropping this episode today. So the third person on this episode is none other than Dr. Gene Kanikogi, who, when Andrew and I put this format together, we were brainstorming people that we wanted to come on, and I said, I don't know if she would do it, but based on my conversation with her and just her willingness and ability to go everywhere and talk about everything, I think Jean would be an awesome guest. Andrew wrote, and we talk about this in the show, Andrew reached out and she wrote back from what he described very quickly and said, that's what I do when I watch movies anyway. So she came on, and Daniel says, I'm fairly sure we talked about today's episode yesterday. We did, and it was complete coincidence. We don't talk about the How to Fight episodes anywhere, even in Patreon. We don't say what's coming with that. We'll tell you about guests. We'll tell you about some of the topics, but we're not dropping the How to Fights just because we're not. Okay, I like making a splash with these. This is our fourth one. It is our best one. They keep getting better, and a lot of time goes into this. It really does. I spent an hour and a half putting together clips that Julius could insert to illustrate what we're talking about, and that's really the whole point. Like, let's show this. And one of the things I loved about this one was that Gene talked about training methods. And while in the previous three, it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek when we talk about how we would fight, Gene had moments where she took it very seriously. No, this is what I would do. And this is how I would prepare for the fight. And that's when I realized, oh, wait a second. We're having a conversation with someone who competed internationally at the highest level and succeeded. We should expect a much more nuanced, I should have expected a more nuanced approach. And it's fun, it's educational. Even if you don't like the movie Kickboxer, check it out. But if you don't like the movie Kickboxer, you're probably not watching this show. As goofy, as cheesy as it is a classic. It is infinitely better than a Best of the Best, Andrew. So check it out. Let me know what you think. the chat's still talking about pro wrestling. Daniel says, I can 100% confirm that martial arts hurts way less than wrestling. When I'm sparring, I'm actively trying not to get hit. When I'm wrestling, I just have to stand and take it. It's a hard thing to get your head around. So my question then is, did the mindset and the physical tolerance for that abuse, did that have a positive impact in your martial arts? Are you less afraid to get hit and thus you're able to spar more intelligently? You're able to craft a strategy on the fly better? Or are those skill sets so disparate that one doesn't help the other and maybe even makes it more complicated? Jenny says, I believe it. I watch the stuff the wrestlers can do, and I know how athletic you need to be. And anyone who has taken a bump in a ring knows that hurts. So I think I've mentioned before that I don't want to be like A-list celebrity. I don't want to be super famous. I want to be just famous enough that I can get guest roles on like my favorite shows. I want to call up my agent and just be like, hey, can I get murdered on Law and Order at some point next season? Like, that's the stuff I want to do. I want to be able to show up at pro wrestling. I want to show up at the WWE and, do one of those things, just like have one of those maybe 1 to 3 episode story arcs where I have an argument with someone and I surprise them from behind with a chair and then they throw me out of the ring onto 16 other people or something. Like, I want to do that. That would be a blast. I'm small. I can be thrown pretty easily. Definitely small in the context of pro wrestling. And Daniel responds, you'd think so. Yes, but I'm bad at both. Ha! That's funny, man. We've already got the next How to Fight planned. I think we're recording it next week. It's with another past guest. And it's with a movie that I don't think nearly as many people have watched. I don't know that I've seen it. So I'm looking forward to it. The How to Fights are fun. We're only going to get through, I think, 10 of these a year at this rate. And I'm okay with that. Because a lot of work goes into them. Julius has a ton more to do. I have a ton more to do. But they're fun. They're a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are enjoying them. We're seeing the numbers, go well. Like, they're doing well. And they're getting better. So we're doing something right. Yeah, let's talk about Fist of Fury. None of you posted anything in the Facebook page yesterday. I'm scolding you. Leave more stuff to talk about. Do you know that trick? If you're talking and you want people to pay attention, you talk and you can slow down what you say. You could lean forward to command attention. You could also lower your voice. You can speak softly. And people will, oh. It's a good trick to use. All right. Where is it? Frank wrote it. Here we go. So today marks the 49th anniversary of Bruce Lee's classic Fist of Fury. Here are some interesting trivia facts from IMDb. I don't think we have any die-hard Bruce Lee devotees in this group. But if we do, Bruce Lee openly admitted that in real life, nunchaku versus the katana was actually an uneven match and should be avoided. And to me, that's fairly obvious. Just the range, the fact that one is a blade and one is a blunt tool. Yeah. When we did the who'd win, I know I've talked about this, but it's relevant here in context. When we did the first who'd win between Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali, the number of people who comment, just there's no way Bruce Lee could lose. Bruce Lee was the best. The drinking of the Kool-Aid of the Church of Bruce Lee is runs deep. Runs really deep. Jenny says, I will post something in the group today. Susanna says, I dig Bruce. Well, we all dig Bruce. But I think we recognize that Bruce was human, at least most of us. And while he was ahead of his time, for sure, he wasn't infallible. But it's such tasty Kool-Aid. It really is. Remember the episode we did, was it last week, week before? Don't put your instructor on pedestal. Don't put Bruce Lee on a pedestal either. Because it changes the way that you receive that information. All information, regardless of where it comes from, is open to scrutiny and should be. And if you ever put a source or a person in a place where they are infallible, they will fail. Here's my proof. Have you ever had a situation where you needed to do something for someone or a group of people? And maybe you were running out of time. Maybe you were pulled in multiple directions at once. And you said, I'll just do this. They won't know. Or they won't mind. Anything where something beyond something was less than your best work happens to all of us. Not every time, but it happens. And the more you get away with it, human nature, the more it's going to happen, because people are like goldfish. We grow to the size of the bowl we're put in. Another way to say it, what is expected of us. I've seen more things about Bruce than actual Bruce movies, says Stacy. Daniel replies, there aren't that many actual movies. It's true. All right, what's next? While filming in a park, writer and director Wei Lo had to contend with local street gangs whose leaders would demand payment for using their bit of the road. The protection money was usually paid, much to the annoyance of Bruce Lee, who had to be physically restrained from attacking them. There's a perfect example. There's an easy way to avoid violence, and assuming that this information is accurate. A representative of martial arts was trying to initiate violence to solve a problem. I'm not okay with that. Now, maybe it'd be one thing if you're about to get mugged, and without the money in your wallet, you're not going to be able to eat for a couple days. That's a different story. Wasn't a big deal in that situation. Jenny says, no one is perfect, not even Bruce Lee. We can certainly take his ideas and actions as great examples for living well, but I'm pretty sure he was just as human as the rest of us. It's true. And he's been idealized for so long that what I find really fascinating is if you look at Jeet Kune Do, if you look at the concepts of Jeet Kune Do. Now, I've never trained in what I would call Jeet Kune Do. I've never, I haven't read all of his books. I am not familiar with all of his teachings. But the heart of Jeet Kune Do, as I understand it, as has been repeated by people who have trained Jeet Kune Do, is this it's principle based, not technique based. Okay. And yet there are a lot of schools out there that teach original or traditional Jeet Kune Do, and I find that interesting. This is what Bruce taught, so this is what we teach. Okay, and that's fine. But isn't that counter to the message? Shouldn't Jeet Kune Do evolve? Shouldn't Jeet Kune Do have turned more into Krav Maga? I don't know. These are things I think about. One more. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow's Friday. We got some jokes. We'll leave stuff on the on the First Cup Facebook page. I want to check out the free training day page too. I think we've got 2 more instructor slots I've got to fill. My goal is to have that done by the end of the week. And then we start putting together sessions and all the other fun things. According to certain historical sources in China, the real-life Chen escaped from Shanghai successfully. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, I haven't seen it in a long time. I think I saw it in high school. It's been a long time. I don't remember the plot. So that fact may or may not mean something to you. Everything I say may or may not mean something to you. Who knows? Who knows? People have been downloading the Flex program like crazy. Nobody's downloading the other programs because they're not free. I think we're going to do this. I want to dial in a couple other things first, but I think we're going to make the other programs pay what you want. The platform we use allows that, and I'm curious what happens if we do that. I might just do that with one of them. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Okie doke. Hope you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Leave me some stuff to talk about. And it doesn't have to be on that Facebook page. That's the easiest way for me. But you can email me, especially if you're someone who listens to this in audio form. Jeremy@whistlekick.com. Don't forget, if you want to help us out, help cover the expenses of all of this equipment, and really it's not all this, it's the internet connection. Actually, there's 2 internet connections. What do I spend a month on internet? $170? $150? Spend a lot just on internet because we have 2. All the people on the back end that do all this great work, Julius, etc. You can contribute to the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick, or you can buy something at whistlekick.com using the code FIRSTCUP15, like this super snazzy mug that holds up really well. I've had this one for, I don't know what, 2 years. For those of you who do support, I'm not going to, a lot of shows will name who supports. I don't like doing that. I think that's a little tacky. But thank you. Thank you to all of you who help in the multitude of ways that you help. Those aren't the only ways to help. Those are just the easy ones I can throw out. Daniel says, Chen Zhen as a character has been played by Bruce Lee, Jet Li, and Donnie Yen. Oh, interesting. Pretty good selection of people. I would agree. Okay. Have a good one. I'll see you back here tomorrow, everybody. Take care. Peace.